So I'm sure we've all seen or heard how the big YouTubers are making the thousands of dollars and the millions of views. But what about us, the small guys? Can small YouTubers make money? Let's find out. How's it going, guys? Nick here. Welcome to my channel. If you're just joining us, this channel is all about getting you started on YouTube and helping you grow. So in my last video, I talked about how to monetize your YouTube videos, and I looked at some of the ways small YouTubers can accelerate this growth. If you missed it, don't worry, I'll put a card link up above and I'll put a link in the description. But one of the many questions I got was, how much money can a small YouTuber actually make? Now, if someone is actually giving you a straight answer to this, sorry, but they're lying to you. There's so many factors that go into determining what your revenue is going to look like with YouTube. But don't worry, I'm going to be breaking down these factors and providing some tips to help maximize your revenue. Now remember guys, this is just Adsense, one of the many ways you can make money with YouTube. I will be making another video on the other ways you can make money as a small YouTuber, but today we're focusing on Adsense. So what is Adsense exactly? Well, you know all those ads we love on YouTube? So much so that they made some of them non-skippable, or even put two of them after each other. This is offered by Google, who owns YouTube, and it allows creators to put ads on their content that they place online. Now, although we're looking at this specifically for YouTube, the same principles do apply for blogging or websites. Now, I've heard so many guys talk about how AdSense is one of their least favorite ways to make money with YouTube, even some of the bigger guys. But I believe they just don't understand it well enough to make it work for them. It all comes down to CPM and CPC. CPM, or cost per mil, better known as cost per 1,000 views, is basically how much YouTube is going to pay you per 1,000 monetized views. What? So I'm not going to get paid on all the views, even if my videos are monetized? No, because not everyone is going to actually view that ad. So you could have a video with over 2 million views, but if only 100,000 people watch the ads, you're only going to receive revenue on those 100,000 people. These are called monetized views. Now, CPC, or cost per click, is how much you would get paid if someone actually clicked on that ad. Now, the payout per click is obviously higher than your CPM, but you're gonna have a lot less people that actually click on the ad than are viewing the ad. So we're not gonna focus so much on CPC because it's almost impossible to control how many people are going to click your ad, but focusing on CPM is key. And we can see that by looking at the formula to determine your payout. Your payout is going to be your monetized views divided by 1,000 times your CPM. So it's clear from this formula that the CPM is the only thing we can try to control. Okay, so now that you have a basic understanding of what AdSense is and why CPM is so important, let's take a look at some of the factors that influence the CPM so you can try, even as a small YouTuber, to maximize your revenue. There are 3 options you have when placing an ad on your video: overlays, skippable, and non-skippable. Overlays, like this example on screen now, is the least paying out ad. That's because the attention is not fully on the ad. Whereas skippable and non-skippable ads are higher paying out because they take up the whole screen and the viewer's attention goes fully towards the ad. Depending on your video length, you can place multiple ads in a video, and you can choose where you want those ads to play during your video. But you need to be careful not to bombard your audience with ads, as you might find soon that people are dropping off. The next factor is what ads are going to be playing on your videos. Now, you don't have much control over what ad is going to play on your video. YouTube's going to determine this for you. And one of the factors it will take into account is your video's topic. That is why your CPM will be different for every video, and why it's so important when you're picking your niche. They will also look at 4 main criteria of the viewer when determining what ad to play: their gender, location, language, and their viewer's interests. So basically what videos and topics the viewer has watched before. Now, your viewer's location is not only going to help YouTube determine what ad to play, but it's going to determine your CPM as well. The CPM in countries like North America, the UAE, and certain parts of Europe is much higher than in countries like Africa or other parts of the world. Your location though, as a YouTuber, wherever you are uploading the videos from does not matter. It's where your audience is from. So I don't want you sitting there thinking because you're based in a country that I didn't mention that you're going to be affected by this. And the final factor is the time of year. Many YouTubers find that their CPM increases between the months of November and January. The first reason is a bit more obvious, it's holiday period. But the second reason is maybe a little less obvious. Advertisers get set budgets for the year, and if they don't use those budgets, they could lose it. So towards the end of the year, advertisers are generally more willing to part with their money. So let's take a look at some examples where some people are really benefiting because they've maximized their CPM. Okay, so I'm gonna be using Jerry as my example here. Everyone say hi to Jerry. So the reason I wanted to use Jerry as an example is he's got a clear example of when you get it right with CPM. So you can see here his top performing video for this month, earning him just under $174, had a CPM of $109.94. And if you look, this video actually had one of the lowest view counts, but was still one of the highest earners because of the CPM. Now, if we go further down, we're going to see that each video is going to perform completely different from the next. Some videos may get low CPMs, but high monetized views, whereas other videos might have higher CPMs, but lower monetized views. One thing I also want to point out here, guys, is that you can see that you mustn't just think about one video. The whole goal is to consistently release videos, and those videos are hopefully just going to passively bring you income in over the foreseeable future. So I hope you can see by now that even as a small YouTuber, your video with maybe a couple hundred views could be getting the same revenue output as someone with thousands of views, if you are able to maximize your CPM. Okay, so that all sounds great, but some of you might be sitting there wondering, does YouTube do this all for free? No. YouTube does take 45% of your revenue. There's a lot of discussions and people for and people against it, but at the end of the day, we are using their platform, so it's just something you have to take into account. Now, before I end off, you probably noticed that I haven't mentioned anything about subscribers. That's because subscribers have no impact on your revenue as a YouTuber, with the exception of the monetization requirement. So please, guys, don't do sub for sub. It's not going to help. If anything, it's going to harm your channel because you're going to have all these subscribers that YouTube sees, but they're not engaging with your content. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. If you did like this video, make sure to smash that like and subscribe. As always, stay safe, guys.